being a mom right now is hard. It is heavy. And if you're struggling, you are not alone. It is not you. It is genuinely a lot to carry. And I want to talk about that today. I want to talk about the real shit that moms are dealing with. And I also want to challenge the way we think about hard. I just realized how that sounds. Get your head out of the gutter, Ellie. I want to challenge the way we think about hard because yes, there is a lot of stuff going on right now, but I also think we are carrying a lot of weight and we are making things harder than they need to be for a lot of different reasons. So stick with me. By the end of this, you're going to see things differently and you will walk away with some very real, very doable ways to make your life and motherhood easier. This is what it's all about. Yes, the struggle is real, shit is hard, but we can make it easier. I am a firm believer that Gen X and elder millennials have it harder than most people when it comes to parenting today, especially moms. I'm 42, so I think that puts me in the Zennial era or generation. I had a pager in high school, if that helps place me somewhere. I think a lot of Gen X and elder millennial women can relate to the fact that we were told since we were young girls that we had so many opportunities that the generations before us didn't have. And there was this pressure that we could be anything and that we should do everything. And there's another layer to that not a lot of people acknowledge. And it's almost this unsaid expectation that because we were given opportunities that the generations before us didn't have, we needed to just be grateful and never complain. And that has led to so much shame and guilt. And our parents really ingrained in us the importance of work ethic. And I truly believe this came from a good place, but it was done in not the best way because it's created a lot of beliefs that everything has to be hard. Like we have to work really hard for things to be worth it. And I see women all the time battling this. You see it in diet culture. You see it in exercise. You see it in work. Like the harder it is, the better it is. And that just could not be further from the truth. And then our generation took that and ran with it and went way further than we should and created the hustle culture, which just drove us all into the freaking ground. And so we have all of this societal pressure on us that we need to appreciate everything we have, go after every opportunity that is available, and work our freaking asses off for it to be worth it and for us to be worthy. And you couple that with the pressures that we have today. I mean, we have the rising costs of just about everything. And parents are working harder than ever before, more hours than ever before. And on another total generational side note, millennials have been told their whole damn lives how lazy they are from all of the generations before them. How many times have you ever heard, oh, millennials, they're just so lazy? I mean, there are boomers out there saying lazy millennials to children that are Gen Z and Gen Alpha. They're not even millennials. But this has been done since we were kids, and it just further pushed and promoted this hard work and hustle culture. Okay, rant over. Anyways, and on top of rising costs, in comes Instagram and social media and this pressure to have the perfect looking home. The expectation for what aging should look like has completely changed. And then there's all of these stupid and ridiculous aesthetics that we're supposed to keep up with. There were no perfect aesthetics when our moms were mothering. Like, have you looked at a basement from the late 80s and 90s? There was no aesthetic there. And don't get me started on the clean girl aesthetic. I mean, what a load of BS. It is basically an aesthetic where you have to work really hard to make yourself, your home, and your life look like you didn't work really hard and it's all effortless. I mean, what? How stupid and crazy is that? And so moms right now are dealing with the rising costs, the Instagram aesthetics, and we have aging parents that a lot of us are dealing with, or long-term marriages, divorce, dating in our 40s. And I haven't even gotten to the kids yet, to the motherhood part of this. And you've heard me say it before, but we are in an intensive mothering situation where we are basically expected to have every minute of their lives beautifully planned out, and we are expected to micromanage every aspect of their success. It is wild. And moms today are worrying about their kids more than ever before. We are worrying about their futures. We are constantly having to worry about their safety at school, when they go out with their friends, when they're in the real world. And I think a lot of moms are with me when I say we worry about their mental health. Kids today are more stressed out, more anxious, and more depressed than they've ever been before, which leads me to why it's so important for us to address this. It's critical, mama. It is time. And the first step, I truly believe, to doing this, to making this change, to not only help us, but help our kids, is reframing how we view hard and where we've made our lives harder than they need to be without even realizing it. We need to give ourselves permission to let it be easier. So I'm going to share some of the things I jotted down because, again, it's all about letting it be easy. The first one is stop carrying the mental load alone. Ask for help, delegate, and then actually let them help. I know there are a lot of moms out there that deal with that inner dialogue of, it'll just be easier if I do it. But you have to stop that because it's clearly not easier and it's doing no good for anyone. So start delegating, start assigning responsibilities, and do not micromanage. It might not be perfect, but it will get done. We don't want our kids to grow up feeling like they have to carry everything. And so we need to start showing them how to delegate, how to split up responsibilities, and how to just let some things go. And it is time to drop this all or nothing mindset. Listen, done is better than perfect. Instead of thinking, if I don't do it perfectly, if I don't work really hard, then I might as well not do it at all. A 10-minute walk counts as movement. Store-bought cupcakes, they're fine. A frozen pizza feeds your family. And the third one I wrote down is, by golly, we need to rewrite the hustle story. Just because we can do it all doesn't mean we should. We need to stop believing that motherhood and work needs to be this never-ending grind and start letting go of this guilt around resting and slowing down and having this constant need to prove ourselves. If your best friend, if your daughter and your son, they are just running themselves into the ground, what would you tell them? Because I want you to apply the same grace to yourself. And even better, learn your human design, learn your human design type. You all know I love it, and I will shout it from the top of the mountain until the day I die. It is the fastest way to lighten the load that you're carrying. And this is the perfect example. Learn your type. Learn how your energy works so you can stop the hustle and the force and the pushing so that you can start working with your body and your natural energy rhythms. Which beautifully leads into my next point. Start making your life work for you. If it looks good, but it feels bad, it's not working. Let go of your need to fulfill some expectation to have a perfectly clean home, a home-cooked meal every night, whatever aesthetic you're aiming for, and instead start creating systems that work for you, that work with you. Start creating systems that actually fit your energy, your human design type, and your reality, and your priorities. And I'm gonna end this and leave you with one last tip. Start questioning where your beliefs are keeping you stuck. Ask yourself, am I making this harder than it needs to be? And how can I let it be easy? We need to stop associating hard with worthiness and ease with laziness. Get out a notebook and start tracking your day and the things that you do, and start noticing where you're making it harder than it needs to be. Stop, pause, ask yourself throughout the day, do I really need to do this? Or have I just been conditioned to think I do? Easy doesn't mean laziness. Easy doesn't mean you're weak. Easy doesn't mean you're a failure. Easy is choosing what actually matters. Easy is trusting yourself. And easy is letting go of what's not working. And so from here on out, I want you to start thinking easy means smart.